Cool. Hi guys, welcome back to Cinema Suitcase. I'm Kev, this is my co-host Logan, and today we're discussing a classic film, one of the all-time greats, Terminator, the first Terminator.
Yes.
Dark Fate. Let's
No.
just no, don't want that on our channel, no.
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 Maybe later when we do our What the F Happened series, then we can do it. But as a normal episode, no.
No. No, I agree. Dark Fate is atrocious.
I didn't even finish that movie. I literally got 40 minutes in. And I was just like, nope. And I just turned it off, and I just was like, nope, not finishing this.
I finished it. I like the fight at the end, but that's about it. Sorry, man, tired. Right. Statistics. Would you like to? Someone just get them out the way.
Yeah.
While you're getting them there, do you want to tell your origin first, or should I go first?
You can go first.
All
Let me
right.
just get.
Yeah,
Just get the
No worries, man.
stuff going. I'm on IMDb now, and the first user review I see is 10 out of 10 amazing.
Yeah. I wonder how many reviews are total there. Does it say?
No, it doesn't say.
Oh, it's probably thousands and thousands of reviews.
So obviously this movie was directed by James Cameron,
Mhm.
also written by James Cameron,
Mhm.
and then also written by Gail Ann Hurd, and then additional dialogue by William Wisher.
Additional dialogue.
Yeah, I don't know. Just that's what it says, additional dialogue. So
Okay, maybe on the fly he made it up.
yeah. Brad Fiedel, who did the original music.
Yeah.
Brad
Shout out to
Fiedel's
him.
awesome, yeah.
Well, does he have any other like notable things he's worked on? Because Terminator's amazing, but I don't know his background.
Oh, he did like Terminator 1, 2. He also did True Lies for James Cameron.
Oh, nice.
And
True
yeah, I don't know. He
Lies.
never really wanted to return to the Terminator franchise after Terminator 2. After Terminator 2 was kind of just like, yeah, I'm done, guys.
Oh well, he jumped ship at the right time.
Yeah, basically. He
'Cause-
jumped ship at the same time James Cameron did. So cinematography by Adam Greenberg. And film editing by Mark Goldblatt. And then obviously, as another thing, this film obviously was shot in 35mm.
Of course,
Yeah.
it was. You brought it up in Texas Chainsaw that you like the grainy. Film.
I like those old grainy type of things. I mean,
Me too.
there is a lot of benefits for shooting digital, and there are some digital shot films that look really, really good. Like Promising Young Woman is a good example of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it will never beat 35mm.
For sure, I totally get you. Yeah, I was just gonna say that after you brought it up with Texas Chainsaw, and then having watched this, having seen it before, I didn't have to focus on everything everything all at once, and I was looking at the film grain for certain shots, especially at night when it's most obvious.
Yeah.
And it's like blue, like fuzzy, and I love that. It had a lot of noise, and
Yeah.
I had an instant nostalgia trip for that older style of shooting.
Yeah.
Mhm. Legit. Anyways, my backstory. I've always been a Terminator fan. Like, it's never spooked me. I don't think. I mean, I've watched it probably much younger than I should have, but it never really scared me. And I remember my dad had it on VHS. He had it like recorded. It probably played on some channel, and then he just he saved it on a tape. And I still have that tape somewhere, but. Since I was like maybe 8 or so, I've known Terminator and I've watched them and I've loved them. Specifically the first two. I think largely the fan base will agree 1 and 2 amazing. Nothing exists after 2. I think that's how it goes.
That is the rule system. Yes.
Legit.
Everything after 2 does not exist.
Does not exist. Never happened, bro. That's the Mandela effect. It
Yeah.
happened in another reality.
Yeah, basically.
And yeah, that's my origin. I've put it on every couple of years when I could, like back in the younger days. But these days I find myself steering more towards it. I like it a lot. It's a great film. It's remarkably simple.
It is very simple.
It's just they execute it like in a really profound way.
Yeah, and it was interesting, the backstory about how James Cameron came up with the Terminator was that he was high once on like whatever, and then or recreational pharmaceuticals. I'll have to bleep out the D word, but he was on recreational pharmaceuticals. And then he had a fever dream, and then he had a dream of like the skeleton walking out of the flames, and then that's how he got the idea of the Terminator.
Nice. Yeah, I do remember it was a dream about some bloody thing that came from the future to whack him, something like that. That's pretty cool. I was gonna bring it up later, but obviously you have a better understanding of it. What's your origin?
So my origin is I didn't watch this Terminator film for until I was like an adult, basically.
Wow.
Or
You're like me for once.
or until I was like a teenager, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when I was younger, I was allowed to watch Terminator 2. My parents let me watch Terminator 2, but they wouldn't let me watch Terminator 1 because they said it's too scary. And this movie is more like a horror movie. It is a lot darker.
It is steered a little bit darker than the second one. The second one is definitely more action-packed.
It's more action-packed, more blockbuster.
Yeah.
Whereas this one's more like a sci-fi horror type movie.
Did James Cameron come back for...
Yeah, he directed the first two.
Okay, the first two, alright.
Yeah, it was after 2 that he jumped ship.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Anyways, you were saying, sorry.
Yeah, so Terminator, basically I watched the second one. I love the second one. The second one is like one of my favorite films of all time.
Legit.
And then I remember I went to a friend's house, and then his dad was watching Terminator 1, and then I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched a bit. I watched I remember seeing the scene when the Terminator's like flesh gets burnt off completely, and then it's like that metal. It's like the metal skeleton. It's like walking, and it's obviously stop motion animation. I was kind of going like, wow. This is weird.
It is, yeah, dude. The first time you see stop motion, you sort of feel like, what the hell is this? I don't know. Like I love the stop motion at the end. Yeah. I don't mind that at all because obviously like technological limitations, but the like prosthetic of Arnie, that thing looks creepy, man.
Yeah.
That thing's worse than the Terminator itself. It's like
exactly.
Chucky. Anyways, did you finish?
Yeah. I finished basically, and then when I eventually watched Terminator 1, I was like, okay, this actually. I was surprised at how tonally it was very different to the second one. It was a lot more like dark and like very very dark 80s synth type of movie.
It is very.
And but yeah, no, it's very good. I do love this one a lot as well.
I don't want to say like. It gives me like steampunk vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the nightlife gives me steampunk vibes.
Not cyberpunk, yeah.
Yeah, cyberpunk style. Anyways, so the film starts off with basically like a text saying
that the future is, doomed basically.
Pretty much because of the AI or the war between
man and machine.
Man and machine, essentially. It gives us a brief recap, and then it's it's a war, the future war. You see segments of it, of like the just like collapsed buildings and skulls everywhere, and it's like obviously technology. Like,
yeah,
I'm trying to think of the proper way to describe it. Like how do I say? It's basically like Skynet bloody tech. They got planes and drones and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
There's big ass machine robot tank things.
Taking out like scattered survivors that are still around, humans basically, because it sees humanity as the enemy, right?
Yeah.
Instead of being a defense system, in like a split second, it decided no, all of humanity is the issue against me. And that's the thing. It's basically what the whole Terminator franchise is about. It's man versus machine.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird to think about, like, Terminator sort of instills that fear still in people about AI.
Yeah.
AI can be creepy these days. It's not like that bad, but like Terminator instills that what if.
Yeah, basically.
That what if theory. So after we get some of that war, do we meet Sarah? Yeah, we meet Sarah, right? She's going to work at that diner.
Well, I think before that, we get the two people from the future to.
Oh right, of course, bloody hell, man.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We get Kyle Reese and the Terminator himself. They both come through It doesn't explain why they come through or how until much later, which I kind of appreciate.
Yeah.
Because you as the audience, you just get this like electric field in a bubble, and then suddenly there's a naked dude,
Yeah.
and you don't
There's
understand
like two naked
what.
dudes running around.
Just running around town like, hey guys.
Yeah.
And we don't really understand why. We just know, or we don't really know anything. We just know one is kind of hardcore and doesn't take any shite, and the other one's more like scared. He doesn't really know where he is. He's sort of trying to gather his surroundings and his thoughts.
And also, he's like very small compared to Arnold.
Yeah, no, Arnie in his prime, dude.
Yeah.
He scares me. I love Arnie. He's one of my favorite actors. Him, Giancarlo from Breaking Bad, Gus basically.
Yeah.
And and Lawrence Fishburne.
Those are good ones.
Some of my favorite actors. Oh, and Aaron Paul. Yeah. Anyways, they both end up sourcing clothing and weapon from different people. Okay, Kyle steals clothing from a shop. Arnie just kills people for clothes.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's... we don't know that at the time, but he's a mindless machine.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Legit. So he sort of forcefully takes things because nothing can really be done to him. He has no sense of reasoning.
Yeah.
He's very aggressive. I mean, initially he asks, but he doesn't care. You could tell. And it's kind of interesting because basically the first half an hour. Okay, let me. Before I say this, we meet Sarah Connor not long after we meet these two random dudes. Right?
Yeah.
And we don't really know what their objective is, but they're clearly in a race against each other.
Yeah, because we see Carl. He goes to a phone book and he's looking for there's three names, three different Sarah Connors in the phone book, and he's obviously looking for someone named Sarah Connor.
That's the thing. She's the link between the two, because even Arnie goes.
Yeah, she's basically the target for both of them.
Because even Arnie goes to the phone book at a point.
Yeah.
And
there's that guy on the phone, and then he just grabs the guy, and throws him.
And he's like, "You got an attitude problem, buddy." I wouldn't go and take my phone call back. I'll be like, "Oh, we cool, yo."
Yeah. I'm gonna find another phone book.
Legit, dude. Find another phone book.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyways. Sarah Connor, who is obviously the link between the two, as I said, is first of all, one of the badass female protagonists, one of the most badass, I think, besides Ellen Ripley. And she is. Should I just explain her bloody plot point? Should I tell what the story is with her? Okay. She's the father of John Connor, who is the leader of the resistance. The mother of John Connor, who is the leader of the resistance and helps turn the tide of the future war.
I mean, everyone's watched Terminator, so
they
legit, know the plot,
bro.
Basically.
And now that all three of them are established, it's basically Terminator's wiping out the other Sarah Connors because it's a process of elimination. They don't know exactly.
They don't know which Sarah Connor
she is.
They just know the name Sarah Connor, and then
the city.
And Carl, he was given a photo of Sarah from John in the future, so he knows exactly what she looks like.
So he can sort of source her out while Terminator has to go through a process of elimination.
Yeah.
What I enjoy is how it constantly cuts between the two of them. Arnie and Kyle getting supplies like vehicles and weapons and such, but when they finally find her at the same time, that's when it like literally goes to shit in the Tech Noir club.
Yeah,
that's what I really like, because it's their stories run parallel until their paths cross, and then it just goes boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Sarah, she learns through like the news and media outlets that the other Sarah Connors that share her name are being hunted, and she sees Kyle and she thinks, okay, I'm next. So she hides in this club called Tech Noir. Her roommate Ginger is at home still getting freaky with the boyfriend.
Yeah.
With that guy had a speech plan. Can we just talk about that? He probably spent the whole day at work.
Yeah, he spent the whole day at work busy thinking about the perfect the perfect speech to give her. And then when he opens the phone, and when the phone gets picked up and he starts on his rant, it's Sarah on the phone and not Ginger. And then she's sort of sits there and like listens to it for like a good minute before she eventually gives it to Ginger.
Legit.
And then as soon as she gives it to Ginger, he just starts again.
He just starts again. He doesn't even say hello. He goes back into that mindset and he's like, okay, start again. That whole scene kills me, bro. Anyways, the reason, like, she wanted to give, I think his name is Matt, and Ginger, like, their time. So, Sarah says she's going to go watch a movie, right? So she takes a little moped.
Yeah, because she was going to go on a date, but then her boyfriend or whatever, or a guy she was seeing, like, stood her up.
Of course
basically.
He did. Sounds like the 80s.
So she goes to like a pizza parlor, then she sees the Sarah Connor thing, and then that's when she freaks out and goes to the tech noir place.
Because why does she go? I think she just goes in there after seeing Kyle, and she suspects he's following.
Yeah, because Kyle's following her, so she goes into the tech noir bar, and then she eventually gets through to the police, and then the detective tells her like, okay, no, just stay there until a unit can come and fetch you, and just stay in the public place. Don't go outside. Don't go in the restroom. Just stay where you are.
Stay put, exactly. And the thing is, it's kind of interesting because the cops are obviously they know about the other two Sarah Connors that have been whacked. So they're desperately trying to get a hold of her. You know, they sent the cop to her place, no answer. They tried to phone, but of course, no answer.
The media's getting involved because, you know, it's two Sarah Connors, and now they're trying to link it as a serial killer. And then one detective is like, okay, well, let's give them a statement. You know, let these bozos work for us for a change.
Get them to hunt her down. Help. Exactly. That's actually clever. I was gonna actually ask you. I was thinking before this episode. Do you like that cop, that lieutenant or sergeant or? Whatever.
Yeah, I like the detective.
I like him too. I think he's fun.
I think he's a fun character, and obviously Bishop from Aliens is also in this movie.
Legit. Yes, that's where I recognized him from.
Yeah.
And his partner is like so mellow and always telling stories, and he's just like, shut up. He doesn't have the social depth to know. Okay, it's not the time to bring these stories up, dude. You know, just be quiet.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was thinking of where I've seen him before so much. It's bloody Alien. You're right. He's Bishop. Anyway, Sarah phones Ginger, or she phones home trying to tell Ginger, all right, at Tech Noir, I'm here holding up for the cops, you know. But at that point, Arnie
has showed up. He beats the hell out of the boyfriend. The boyfriend tries to find him, but like he gets his ass kicked.
He gets his ass beat. Yeah.
And then he kills
Ginger.
He kills Ginger. Then obviously the Terminator. He hears the voicemail over the phone, and then he's like, that's when he knows where to go find her.
Because the thing is, he went to her address, but he has no knowledge of what she looks like. So
yeah.
I wonder what would have happened had he had missed that call.
He would have just been like,
what would he have done, bro? Because if he finished the Tech Noir... Sorry.
I guess searched the place, looked for... remember, he probably would have searched the place and he would have found Sarah's scenes. He would have found, a picture or something like that.
Yeah, he does that with a driver's license anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So he would have...
I see your point.
He would have probably still found her or whatever.
It's just interesting to me because I was always thinking, imagine the Terminator assumed. He was like, oh, well, I got someone that was in her house that could have been Sarah Connor. Then does he just retire? Does he switch off?
This is not Dark Fate.
That's true. Oh yeah, that's right. Arnie retires in Dark Fate. I love Arnie. He has such screen presence.
He's a great actor and he's a great personality and everything. But
no, Dark Fate we dare not discuss. They keep bringing the poor guy back because of nostalgia money, you know.
Yeah, I know. Because Dark Fate, they're clearly just they had a clear SJW motive. They were like, yeah, we're rebooting this, screw John Connor, screw Kyle Reese, we're getting rid of this. But at the same time, it's not going to sell unless it has Arnie and Linda Hamilton in it, so we need to get them back. So that's why I always hate that Hollywood. I'm just look, do you want to reboot? Do you want to reboot or do you want to have the legacy characters? Pick one. You can't have both.
You can't have both, legit. Because then, the timeline is so distorted, dude.
Yeah.
And inconsistent. Anyway, that's another episode entirely, is Dark Fate. Point is, Kyle is been following Sarah because he doesn't want to obviously just approach her with all this information. She's going to think he's a nutcase.
Also, he doesn't know what the Terminator looks like, so he has to wait for the Terminator to make his move so he can cut.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
He can sprint in.
Because this Terminator model is very lifelike and realistic and very hard to suss out in a crowd or among people in general. So he had to wait for Terminator to make a move on her before he could distinguish, okay, that's the Terminator, I need to protect her from that dude. Which is kind of weird because in the movies, all the different Terminators all are modeled after Arnie. But then in the flashback, there's that one where the dogs start barking, that flashback with Kyle.
Yeah.
That Terminator doesn't look like Arnie at all.
I think they're all modeled off of Arnie. I think just some of them.
Okay, yeah, but he is the face.
Are modeled after Arnie, but there are other models as well because obviously they can't just keep sending in the same looking dude into resistance camps or whatever. They have to have guys who look different so that. Otherwise, the resistance is just going to know who it is.
Exactly. I get you. From that logic, it makes sense. And I thought about it as well. You can't just have the same dude. But to me, a lot of the time, you see so many different Arnies. So, oh well, whatever. Anyway, the Terminator finally finds her. He attempts to assassinate her, and Kyle steps in and saves the day. They have that epic shootout in Tech Noir, and Army. Wow, and Arnie gets blown through the window. It's one of the scenes that I think highlights his. I told you about it last night. Arnie's body language to come across as synthetic. He doesn't have natural sort of flowing body movements. It's very rigid and stiff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very rigid and stiff. Yeah.
It gives that sense of. Not only a dominant stature, but that there's something wrong with this dude. He's not quite human. As convincing as he may look, he's still a bit off,
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, he chases them down. He attempts to murder Sarah. He gets close, but he still fails. Kyle manages to keep him off of her. And then we escape.
Then we get the legendary line of come with me if you want to live.
Yes, the line that the franchise won't let die.
Every single movie has come with me if you want.
Come with me if you want to live. When they did it in the second one as well, that's kind of cool because it's a bit of a role reversal. But
because Arnold's the one who's saying that.
Exactly, it is there. But then ever since then, I'm like, let it die.
Let it go.
Same with any Predator and Get to the Chopper. Okay, no, the second one doesn't have that, but it keeps coming up every now and then, and I'm like, oh, God's sake.
Yeah, when they say Get to the Chopper and the Predator, I'm just like, you are not Arnold Schwarzenegger. You don't have the right to say that damn line.
Exactly. You're talking about when they see those bikes, right?
Yeah, when they're like, get to the chopper. I'm like, oh,
get to the choppers. I was like, no.
Idiot. I hate the Predator. That's one of my least favorite movies.
Yeah, I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, well, what can we do? We can do Predator, and then we could do Terminator. And then I saw, I had flashbacks to the Predator, and I was like, my God.
Yeah.
We have to do that as an episode. Come on.
Yeah, we can do that one eventually.
Eventually. Oh, how about, in the weeks leading up to Prey? We can do the first Predator and then the Predator. Go on. Peer pressure.
Maybe. I'll think about it.
Yeah, no worries. So after they escape, Kyle gives Sarah Connor the whole, business. Okay, that sounded horrendous. I apologize. He informs her of what the Terminator wants and what he's trying to do.
Doesn't feel emotion. It doesn't feel pity. It doesn't feel thing.
Legit. And of course she doesn't believe him initially. She thinks, he's completely twisted. But because her life is at stake and the Terminator keeps finding them as well as the police on them, she keeps helping him escape, and I think she eventually starts to believe him, especially after they're caught. The Terminator fails yet again to butcher them. Dude, you had one job. And they end up in the police station. They're obviously both being interrogated. Sarah is kind of let off the hook because of the fact that she's
the victim.
Yeah, she's the victim and she's being hunted. So they don't really worry about her that much, why she went on a wild police chase. They just let it go. They're like, okay, whatever. But this is this is where Kyle gets interrogated basically
by the psychologist.
By the psychologist. Though I hate that guy. When he finally gets his his due in Terminator 2, I was satisfied. Like when he finally sees a Terminator's real.
Yeah.
It was satisfying. But nonetheless, that won't happen. Yeah, sorry.
And they're trying to bring him back in Terminator 3.
Really? Oh, I haven't seen Rise of the Machines in a few years.
Yeah, he's in Rise of the Machines as well.
Does he have a cameo?
Yeah, like a cameo.
Okay, no, I hate that guy.
Yeah, that guy's terrible.
He's awful. I mean, good actor, but the character, I fucking hate him, dude.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Legit. And they all think that Kyle Reese is a nut job because they ask him about, why were you running and why is this and that and why did you come through with no clothing or have no future tech, and he says, well, it's a living things, or the living tissue is the only thing that can really come through.
He's just like, I didn't build the damn thing.
Nothing else. And he actually, like, all of their questions he answers because they're very truthful, but obviously they
don't believe in this. It's like, look at this nut job.
Legit. You were just finishing off saying how the psychologist, he could make a whole franchise out of Kyle Reese's stories, because they don't take him seriously.
Yeah.
They think, he's just a loon.
Yeah.
Which I guess in anyone's shoes, you will always have that skepticism, yeah?
Yeah.
Logically. I mean, you was like, well, this guy's harping on about, the future and how he came back, and it just wouldn't fit together. Still, we know the truth, and once that whole sort of thing is set over, the police chief, I don't know what he is officially. He's a detective. He must be, right?
Yeah, detective.
Okay, the detective says to Sarah, you can stay here in the room. In this room, it has a couch. You can catch some Z's. Her mom is still a ways out of town before she arrives to finally, pick her up, take her somewhere safe. And at that point, Arnie comes in. He's like, I'm a friend of Sarah Connor. With the iconic bloody line.
I'm a friend of Sarah Connor. Can I see her? It's like, now you're going to have to wait there and everything. And he looks around. He's just like, I'll be back.
I'll be back. Yeah, dude, the iconic line that no one can get right besides him.
Well, what I also wanted to say that I appreciate is that...
yeah, please.
Is that obviously we get flash forwards of like the future war and everything like that. When Carl's like falls asleep or whatever, we see like flash forwards of what it was like for him in the future and everything like that. Mm-hmm. We don't really know if it's like totally real or not. And then the thing is, what like definitely confirms to the audience that it is him is that after the Tech Noir fight, the Terminator goes back to his apartment, obviously like do repairs, and then like he cuts up his arm, and then we see he's got a metal skeleton.
Yeah,
so we know pistons. Yeah. So then we know. So then that's kind of when we know for a fact. Okay, no, Carl is telling the truth. He is a cyborg.
That is true. Yeah, it is largely speculation. You sort of take it as proof, but you never know for sure in the present day until you see Arnie's. You're like, okay, yeah, he is actually a robot. That's actually a fair point. I hadn't thought about it because, I mean, Terminator lives in my head like rent free, right? So, so I didn't think about that. Distinguishing the present, which could be the present, and in the future, which could be totally made up in his head. Only once you see it in the present, you're like, oh, okay, that's actually truthful. So thanks for that. That's very cool. Also wanted to say something else about Kyle and the Terminator. Oh, I thought you were actually going to say that when we see the flashbacks of him and you actually see him with, in that like underground safe haven with the dogs and the children, and he has that photo of her. I thought that solidified that, okay, this guy has, he's been through the trenches, quite literally.
Yeah, I know he's been through the trenches and everything. I'm just saying it confirms to us that he is a robot.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, we got to the same conclusion through different methods.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, not long afterwards, Sarah is put to bed. Arnie rocks up. He says, can I see her? The cop says no. And he goes in with all his guns blazing, obviously trying to finish the job. Also, this is where he has his iconic glasses because his eye was all shot up. So he removes like the surrounding skin and he has the big sunglasses on now. Yeah. Which is actually, like, those sunglasses, I read about them. They were like a cheap brand back then. and they were they had a very limited production range, so those things are like hundreds of thousands of dollars now.
Wow.
If you find a pair of those sunglasses.
Jeez.
Which is really cool to think about, because you're like, I could get that and just, be a badass, wear those sunglasses. It's like, no, bro, you're gonna have to sell like your kidney or something if you want a set of those sunglasses.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, during the chaos, Kyle manages to free his handcuffs, and it's once again a race to Sarah Connor. She's hiding. She's in that back room under the desk. Terminator's just mowing down pretty much anyone in his way.
Yeah, I will say I do love this action sequence. It's pretty cool.
Dude, I was gonna say, I'm trying to think of the order. Like the lieutenants, Jesus. The detective takes shots at him, and then Terminator, uses the M16 or whatever he has in his right hand. And then the bishop comes back and Terminator stops and he turns around again. And then he uses both guns. He's like, this corridor, bro. You know what that room was? It was a spawn point. So he was just getting sick of everyone running out that room.
Yeah, it's basically when you walk into an enemy base with guard mode enabled. So.
Legit, you just... Oh, I love that shotgun that he uses. I don't know what it is. I know he mentions the model when he... buys it. But
is it like a Spaz 12 or something?
It looks like a Spaz, but I don't know if it is. But like the sound it makes, it has a real kick. Every time it goes off, I'm like, oh, I felt that, bro. I mean, imagine like a 8K audio remaster for that. Oh, and you watch it in the cinema, you're in your seat every time it goes off. Anyway, I just love that shotgun. It reminded me of Expendables. Towards the end, I think is it Terry Crews? I'm not sure. Is Terry Crews even in Expendables?
I can't remember. I haven't seen the Expendables in a very long time.
Okay. Well, anyway, someone has like a hardcore shotgun, and it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
He's just like mowing down people with this shotgun. It's the Doom guy. That's what that's what Artie is. He's the Doom guy. Anyways, cop station gets mowed down, and once again, they somehow manage to escape the Terminator. Guy's not very good at his job.
Yeah.
He legit sucks, bro. And that's when they go to that hotel, right? No. They under that bridge first, right? Right. I'm asking.
They escape the police station in their car, and then they're busy driving, and then their car runs out of fuel. So then they go spend the night underneath that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kyle has been grazed by a bullet. I assume he was grazed because he said it's okay. I've been.
Yeah. Then she does a first aid field dressing. And it's like her first one she's ever done, but it's actually very good field dressing.
And he's like, yeah, this is good. And he basically keeps giving exposition to us as well as her to keep her distracted from all the blood about his childhood and life in the future.
Yeah.
Like if the machines actually succeed and start the war, which is kind of cool. So they spend the night there. Nothing really happens beyond them discussing a lot of stuff. And once the sun sort of starts to come up, they go and get a hotel room, which I think is kind of funny because they want one with a kitchen specifically. And once Kyle checks it's okay, it's secure enough, he goes out and gets stuff, and he comes back with random, like, building supplies. And then there's that old joke of, what's for breakfast or something like that. And he's like, oh, nitroglycerin. Well, because he doesn't have normal food in the future. And and she's, like, kind of put off, but he thinks it's normal day,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny. It's just the fact that he takes it so seriously. Like, you really couldn't go down the road and get a pie. No, you have to bring home nitroglycerin to make a salad. And they also make those, like, pipe bomb things there.
Yeah.
Which is basically a defense to buy themselves time in case Terminator rocks up. And she's asleep still. Obviously, it's been a rough 2 days or a rough day, so... she's catching up on the sleep. He's on guard. He's sitting by the window, curtains closed,
also
peeking.
Remember, there's a little bit of a extra detail where he goes off to go shopping, and then she goes and has a shower, and then after she's done in her shower, she's on a phone call with her mom.
Oh yeah,
but it's not really the mom.
You're right. Sorry,
it's the Terminator, and then she basically gives the address of where they live, and I'm like, if I have an issue with the film, that's my one issue.
Is that part?
He's kind of just like, yeah, it wasn't delivered in an organic way. It's just like, what, do you have to give her the exact... Yeah, but the thing is, even if I was on the run and my mom asked me, okay, where are you? I'll give her maybe a general area, but I'm not going to give her the exact freaking address.
Legit, bro. Phone number and everything.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit suspicious, but...
It is a little bit. I'll give you that. It is a bit odd. I can understand because maybe Sarah Connor is constantly being pressured by her mom, like, away from the film. So she's like, fine, whatever. If you're not going to give it a break, here, this is where I am. You can find me on this number, what. But, like, woman, these are different circumstances. You gotta hold back a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Arnie's like, thank you, dear. And he like hangs up, and he already knows. He knows where they are, of course.
Yeah.
But while he has to drive all the way back because she lives in, I think, Big Bear, her mom. I think that's where she stays, something Bear. And so she's like an hour or two out of town. The movie keeps reiterating that. So now poor Arnie has to drive all the way back.
Yeah.
And in that moment, or during that time, we find out, like, Kyle has this huge crush on Sarah, and it's kind of like a weird family circle.
He was sent for the future. John Connor gave him the photo of Sarah in the future, and he didn't know why. I guess, John kind of... Because I don't think his mom ever tells him who his dad really is. But, like, I think once he meets Carl in the future, he sort of, like, picks up that, okay, no, this clearly is my dad. Yeah.
It's possible, yeah. Because they never outright say it to each other. But nonetheless, Kyle is in love with Sarah. And I guess she likes him.
So
she ain't getting
they get freaky.
They get freaky. That scene is actually kind of nice. Like, those 80s movies, bro, they were so sensual and, like, romantic compared to now, dude. Now it's like softcore porn. Legit.
Yeah,
like, the way they did it in the 80s was so much smoother flowing.
Yeah.
Pun not intended. Anyway, it was something I wanted to bring up, like a side note. So they get freaky. And not long after they're getting ready and they're going to move out because you have to keep moving, guess who rocks up?
Terminator.
Oh, my man. And chase scene ensues. He has his magic bike. It's not really magic, but it is a bike. And that's when they finally get to use their pipe bombs. They're chucking at him.
And they keep missing it every time.
Legit. They have bad guy aim.
Yeah.
Or a stormtrooper aim.
Yeah, and eventually he gets run over... Terminator gets run over by a truck, and the truck takes forever to freaking stop. 200 miles an hour.
That's what I was saying, dude. That truck takes like a long time to stop. So what kind of speed was that guy doing on a? It was a main road. It wasn't a freeway. So like, dude, that truck driver needs to chill because he takes a long time to stop.
Yeah. Then like Arnold obviously survives, but now he's like all like messed up and like you can see his robotic eye and everything, and he's like clearly pissed because when he kills the truck driver, when he gets in, there's the other guy sitting there and he just like gets in, he's just like, get out. Get out.
Legit. The guy's like, whatever, man, you can have the I ain't dying for no $1.50 an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a line from Alien vs Predator 2 when they go to the gun shop. And then the guys that work there are still they come out the back and they were high and they all point the guns because they freaked out from the aliens and they're like, oh whoa, take what you want. I ain't dying for no $1.50 an hour. Yeah. And trying to think how that fire starts. Oh yes, that fuel truck he takes essentially gets bombed because Kyle Reese shoves his last pipe bomb in like a I don't think it's an exhaust. I'm not sure what that is. But nonetheless, the truck bombs. Terminator gets a little crispy. He loses all his exterior skin. Sorry, you want to say?
Also, another like slight flaw I have this film.
Yeah, please.
Is the bit where because they're driving like a car, something like that, and then he's driving a truck. Their car eventually gets knocked over and like crashes, and then they crawl out to the Sarah's got to help Kyle out of the truck. when their car tips over, she lets out a scream. Obviously, she goes like ah or whatever, and then the thing is, and then it actually, if you listen, it actually repeats the same thing. It goes ah, and then it goes, and then like a couple of seconds later, it's like ah. Again,
oh shit!
Again.
Okay,
So that's another. I mean, I guess it was a mistake they made in the editing, but like
it gets you.
There was audio there, and like there's a repeat of audio. So it was like it's not like a flaw I'm gonna deduct points for, but it's just like it's just that one like clearly like editing mistake that I noticed.
Fair enough. Well done. I didn't notice that. I was thinking, because you spoke about the flipped car and then Sarah getting Kyle out, I thought you were going to talk about the fact that she just sat there for 5 minutes seeing what Arnie would do with the truck driver. She was like, whatever. And then only once he starts turning the car around, she's like, oh shit! Yeah, dude, that's what I thought you were going to complain about. Because she's like, obviously the Terminator is not going to be like, okay, the car is wrecked, they're clearly dead. He's going to go check, right?
Yeah.
And then she was like, well, if we just don't move, maybe he won't see us. And that's not the case.
His sight is based on movement.
His sight is based on movement, dude. Jurassic Park.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Terminator, not a dinosaur, man.
Legit, that's what gets me. Is she's just checking what he's gonna do with the driver, because obviously once the driver ran him over, he gets out to see what if there's anything he can do to help, maybe. Even though in real life he'd be turned to paste, but whatever. And Arnie kills him, and then only after the truck starts moving again, she's like, oh yeah, bro, we gotta go, man. Yeah. So they barely get out the way of the truck. He hits the car, and they keep running like literally on foot from this truck. So eventually they take a corner, and Reese is able to hide for a second so the truck passes and he can end up behind it, and that's when he chucks the pipe bomb in while chasing Sarah down. I don't know why Arnie doesn't just, was he following the speed limit? He could have had more than enough time to flatten her, but whatever.
Yeah.
And the truck blows. Arnie is obviously vehicleless, and he falls out, and we think that's the end, right?
Yeah.
A blaze of glory, he went out, but it turns out, no, he's alive. His foot is kind of damaged from when he was hit by the truck, because he limps.
Yeah.
I wish they kind of showed us, actually, what happened there. Because obviously, when you see someone limp in, like, human form, you're like, okay, he has some sort of issue. But I wish that after the fire and his skin and all that was burnt off, they actually showed like maybe his leg was like twisted or something, the metal was damaged. I wish they showed that. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we found out he's alive. Terminator hasn't died quite yet, but you can see he's really pissed off. You can just the way the facial structure of the Terminators is designed, they always look pissed.
Yeah.
And Kyle is injured from, I think, the car crash still, so he's not really all that mobile, which ultimately means it's a face-off between Sarah and Arnie.
Yeah, he tries to fight it, but he gets obviously thing. Then he puts the bomb on the Terminator to blow it up, and then you think that okay, now it's dead, but no, it's not dead. It's crawling.
Legit, it's just been halved.
It's just its legs have been blown off, but it's still crawling, still going.
And they end up in this automated factory. I'm not sure what it makes, but there's a lot of robotics. And he says if he turns it all on so that the Terminator can't track them, it's probably all the movement. It's like confuses its senses.
Yeah.
How do you think they did its vision, by the way, back then? It looks kind of like infrared, and then they just added like text.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what you think.
No idea they did it. I have no idea they did it. Just put a red filter on, I don't know.
Maybe. Put a red... Yeah, that's actually possible. Maybe they just put a overlay. It's interesting. Because I was thinking about it. I mean, today, to make something like that is very simple. But back in 1984, how the heck would you do that?
Yeah.
I'll research it, but I just wanted your take.
Yeah.
So anyway, this whole factory is all lit up and working. So Terminator's is struggling to keep up with them. Reese sort of he's succumbs to his injuries basically, and Sarah has to leave him behind. Yeah.
No, nothing.
Oh, I see. You look like you had a thought you wanted to add.
No.
And through like a dramatic 3-minute chase of the slowest chase in all of human history, eventually with like a giant press, she's able to crawl through it and kill the Terminator by activating it. And also, I love the lightning effect, that like early CGI stuff. I think it's so. It gives me nostalgia vibes.
It does.
It really does. Anyways, after the Terminator's wrecked, we find out Kyle Reese is in the ground. His injuries killed him, or the Terminator killed him, either or. Anyway, he's dead. And that's when she sort of... I think once she kills that Terminator... Oh, sorry, no, I lie. Once she takes Reese, she picks him up and she's like, get on your feet, soldier. That's when she sort of fully embraces that she's like a badass.
Yeah.
Because the first time when he talks about the field dressing, she's like, no, I'm not very good. This is not
I can't even balance my checkbook.
Legit. But then after that, she embraces it and she becomes like her full badass form that we know in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And... the film ends, she's kind of moving about. She's obviously has a baby now, being John, and she's recording constant audio logs,
diaries,
about her thoughts and things to come. And she says that they're not really meant for you right now, these tapes, because she's not so how to explain it. They're more for her. It's probably like some sort of coping mechanism, because you can't just go around talking to normal people like, I'm the mother of the future savior. You're gonna end up in a cell. So, and that's it. She goes on the run. That's also when we get that photo of her, because I was thinking about that the whole film. When was that photo taken? And it's when she stops to get fuel, the only gas station to have fuel, apparently.
I think they have gas in like Texas Chainsaw. It's like, we ain't got no gas.
We ain't got no gas. Shit. And yeah, that's it. She drives into a storm, which is kind of like a metaphor, I guess, for the impending storm that's on its way. And the film ends. Oh yeah, and I was going to say, like a young boy takes that photo of her in thought, because we hear her what she's talking about to the audio log. And earlier in the film, Kyle Reese is like, well, I wonder what you were thinking at that moment. So we actually learn it. It's kind of a nice... full circle.
Yeah, it's a nice full circle.
And then that's it. The film ends, and then they were like, yeah, franchise. And then Terminator died after the next movie. Because I read once that it was meant to be a one-and-done movie.
That James Cameron was convinced to do a sequel, then he was like, okay. Yeah.
After that, he was done, but then the studios were like, nah, we can retire off of Terminator.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the franchise went to shit. But anyways, what do you think of this film? Come on.
I think this film's very good.
Yeah, okay. Next. No,
like I said, it's got a different tone to Terminator 2, which I appreciate.
And
I just appreciate that like 80s like tech noir cyberpunk vibe that the film's got going for it. Especially, I love the tech noir scene.
Yeah. I told you, my dad loves that song.
The tech noir scene is good, but I like the music. Like I love also the scene, like the bit where like Sarah drops something, so she like goes down to like pick it up, and then like it sort of almost slows down, like Arnold's movie normally, but like the people who dance in the background, they sort of slow down a bit, and then like that's pretty cool. I like that shot where Arnold like takes out his laser sight gun and like he points the laser sight, and then you get that brief shot where the laser sight's on her forehead, and then she's like just looking out like blankly into the
obviously
abyss.
She's like in shock.
I really love that. I really love that moment.
I just want to add to that scene that you just mentioned where she bends down because she knocked over that like bottle of water or whatever it was, and once Arnie walks into frame, the club music fades out and it replaces with his soundtrack. Until he goes past and he like turns away, then the club music comes back. It's so brilliant. I love that scene, dude.
It is very brilliant.
I think I could just watch that. I need to go check it again. I just love that whole tech noir scene, the shootout, because it does what I was talking about with Batman yesterday, where the action is reserved for the action scenes. That's when it's really explosive. It's not a constant run and gun movie. Not exactly. At any It's like a classic 80s sort of slow burn. I wanted to say as well, you said how Terminator 2 is distinctly different tonally from Terminator 1. And I think another franchise that is Aliens. Yeah, it's very different. The first and the second are very different. And then also, to an extent, Predator.
Yeah, Predator's also very different.
I don't know why. They were just... I guess that's when they had the freedom to experiment.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you experiment, you're gonna go bankrupt and that's it.
Yeah, basically.
And... yeah, I just love this movie, man. I could watch it. Like, I need to get a proper collection of Terminator. I have, like, loose scattered DVDs, bro. I need a box set.
Yeah, very hard to get Terminator on Blu-ray these days.
Mm-hmm.
First one's, like, almost impossible to find, and then the second one, if you want to buy the second one, it's pretty much like, they're pretty much like the 4K, but the 4K is terrible because they messed up the remaster, recolored it, got rid of all the film grain, everything that nobody wanted from this movie.
Oh,
and I'm kind of just almost saying to James Cameron, like, James Cameron, get the hell out of Pandora and freaking go make some other films and remaster your damn films. Like, Jesus.
Get out of Pandora. Yeah, he's been working hard on Avatar, hasn't he?
Yeah, like the 50 billion Avatar sequels that he wants to make.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they come out at the same rate as the gap between 1 and 2. I'm not sure he'll be alive to see the 5th movie. Dude, he's gonna have to be like that grandpa from Texas Chainsaw, 200 years old.
Yeah, I know.
Oof. Anyways, I think I could, like, it's one of those movies that I say again from the 80s. It's very simplistic premise, but they made sure to execute it in the right way. And they they pushed the boundaries of the tech back then. I mean, James Cameron is known for pushing the tech.
Yeah.
And the fact that he juggled Arnie's performance and makeup with like a prosthetic version of him as well as stop motion.
And yeah,
formed, gelled together so well.
And what I also appreciate about James Cameron is he doesn't do a movie until the technology is available. Often he'll make the technology in another movie and then they'll be ready for the next movie. Like, for example, like with Terminator 2, he wanted to do the T-1000 which was liquid metal, and obviously didn't have the tech originally to do it. So when he did The Abyss, which had like sort of like water creatures, which were also like sort of like kind of similar type of CGI and everying, he was then ready to make Terminator 2 because he had the technology for the T-1000. And the same thing with Alita Battle Angel, when he mastered the mocap technology and everything in Avatar, he was then able to do Alita Battle Angel finally.
At long last. You see, that's what I was talking about. He's very, very patient for the tech to be available.
It's like the Bethesda of filmmaking.
That's what James Cameron is. And I admire him. Like, I remember he sold the rights to Terminator for like $1.
Yeah.
And then he said he sold the rights to
Fox.
Yeah.
But I think he got the rights back, but
okay, I'm not sure as of right now. But he sold the rights for $1, and his condition was he can direct it.
Last I heard, he got the rights back, but then I don't know, man. Like, if you got the rights back and you own it, then freaking watch. I don't know, man. It's very weird. I don't know. Terminator franchise, Dark Fate, because Dark Fate was directed by the guy who directed I can't remember his name. The guy who directed the first Deadpool. The first Deadpool movie.
I know you're on about.
Yeah, and him and James Cameron apparently clashed a lot on sets.
James Cameron was on the set of Dark Fate.
He was there at the beginning, and then he had a big fight with the director. Then he ended up just leaving. It was just like, fine, whatever, man. Just make your movie. It will crash and burn, whatever. I don't care. I'm going back to Pandora, basically. Yeah, and the guy was basically just saying, like, he basically told James Cameron to piss off because he's just like, it's my movie. This is my franchise. This is my vision of Terminator. And I'm like, nobody wants your freaking vision, dude. Nobody wants it.
Legit, especially with the keyboard warrior influence as well.
Yeah, the keyboard warrior influence. I'm just like, yeah, but what did you exactly do? You didn't do anything original. Because, you got rid of John Connor and Sarah Connor and all that type of stuff. But all you basically did was you replaced John Connor with a Latina woman, and instead of Skynet taking over, it's now a new AI called Legion. And I'm kind of just going like, bravo for you, bravo. If you asshole. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to cut that out, but yeah, nah, man, like, whatever, man. Like, just, okay, you can cut the clapping out bit as well, because I was in a bit of a rage, but whatever. Like, you didn't do anything original, so whatever. You can tell I'm still very sore about Dark Fates.
I can see so, yeah, that guy, like, he did very well with Deadpool. So when when I found out it was him, because I saw like a behind the scenes snippet before the movie came out.
I don't know, he seems like a filmmaker who's not willing to take feedback or not willing to really work with other people. He kind of just wants his way all the time. Because I remember he was supposed to direct Deadpool 2, and then he got fired because him and Ryan Reynolds had a lot of clashing creative ideas and who was going to play Cable and everything like that. And they had a lot of clashing ideas. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, fine. You know, sometimes creatives just have clashing ideas and everything. You know, it happens. You know,
we all have.
It's not. It's not uncommon. But then when I read about what happened with Dark Fate and how he basically how he told James Cameron to piss off, basically, I'm kind of just going like, you're a very toxic director. You're basically another Josh Whedon. Basically.
He sounds horrid, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you like in the presence of James Cameron and you get to work on what he started, you better listen to some fucking advice, dickhead.
Yeah.
But this dude is like lone gunman. No, I ain't working with no one. And,
yeah, people are gonna love my movie. My movie's gonna be better than your movies.
Yeah, sure. Go outside, bro.
Yeah, go outside, bro.
Cool story.
Because I don't know. I mean, Genesis was like a stupid Terminator movie, and but I had fun with it.
I enjoyed it.
It's a dumb fun movie. It's not a good movie, but it's a dumb fun movie. Dark Fate was just disrespectful to the franchise.
It was, dude.
It was so disrespectful.
And even more so to the people that started the bloody franchise, like Linda and Arnie and Camera. And so as I was saying before it cut, it was just rude to everyone that started that franchise and laid the bloody groundwork. You know, Linda, Arnie, and James Cameron himself, and that franchise, it brought them back for nostalgia, but they almost had no purpose. Especially Arnie. I mean,
because it's basically just like, we want to do something. We want to do our own thing, do something different with Terminator, but at the same time, that's nostalgia sells. So bring. Well, I don't know. Maybe they wanted to do something original, and then the studio executives are basically just like, yeah, but nostalgia sells. So call up Arnie right now.
Get him on the phone. I don't know. I only have this bloody Funko because it's the only one of Terminator that was available for me. I don't like that bloody movie, but I like Arnold. So that's why I have it. I know we hear shitting all over Dark Fate, and here I have Dark Fate merch, but that's
I don't blame Arnold for it. I mean, like, he's funny in the movie and everything.
Same.
But it's also kind of just like, wow, you really did Arnold, the Terminator, the T-800 dirty.
Legit, they underutilized him.
And I'm saying, like, what, he becomes a fashion designer or a home decorator or something? Like, it's like so stupid. Like, why? Like why?
I don't know, man. That movie.
It's just like, you know.
Don't think about it.
It's just like, yeah, look how stupid this T-800 is. Don't you like this new Terminator that we just made?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out.
And I'm being very, very angry and aggressive, and that movie just makes my blood boil. I swear.
No, Dark Fate. No, God, I can't endure. Plus, they had like the most boring bloody Terminator pursuing them ever. Yeah, sure, he had that whole exoskeleton and the liquid form, but smile, dickhead. Gee, he says nothing, he does nothing. That guy is so forgettable. Yeah. I'm sure he's a good actor, but God, they really didn't utilize him well.
Yeah, I think he played Ghost Rider in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series.
And was he any good?
I don't know. I'll stop watching after season 2.
No, I haven't seen season 1. I didn't know there was. I know it was a thing, but I haven't watched it. And yeah, dude, I just think that, like, Dark Fate is a perfect example of, as you said in another episode we did recently, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. How many more precious, beloved franchises from fans can we ruin and destroy? I
think the only one with a more convoluted timeline is Friday the 13th. Sorry, Halloween. I think that's another episode.
Yeah.
God, that franchise. I'm glad I've only seen the first one. I'm sure there are other good Halloweens, but
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. First Halloween's kind of the only real Halloween I like, pretty much. I haven't seen all of them, but like out of all the sequels and reboots I have seen, like the original Halloween's the only really good one for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, still, what would you rate this movie? Unless you have something else you want to talk about.
9 out of 10. Great movie. Very good.
What happened to not deducting points for that double scream edit?
I'm sorry. I said it was just a mistake. I noticed. I didn't say I was going to deduct points for it.
I know you didn't. Then why is it not 10? This is fun. Okay, legit. Why would you say 9?
Well, I mean, also there's the whole thing of like how he finds out that they're at that small town. It's like
with the phone call thing.
Yeah, it's not executed very well.
That's true. It is a little bit out of place, I think.
It's very out of place, and it kind of feels like almost like they didn't know how to figure how Arnold would find them, so they just kind of wrote the thing in. They kind of shoehorned something in. But yeah, I mean the movie's perfect otherwise.
It is pretty good. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. It is a fair argument. It doesn't bother me that much, but I can see where you're coming from. Like he just suddenly goes to her mom. Like he also knows where she is suddenly.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Okay, yeah. I think I would have given it a 10, but your argument stands in the court. So 9. I'll give it a 9. I'll match you with 9. Shots you liked? I didn't have any. Not really. I was too fascinated by Arnie's screen presence.
Like I said, I like that shot where the red dot starts on Sarah Connors.
Yeah, you did bring that up.
That was a really cool shot. Overall, it shot very well and everything. Also, like that shot where we get that that flash forward of a Carl Reese in that one base, in that one resistance base, and there's like that cool bit where like he's walking down the hallway and there's those kids.
The fire.
The fire inside the TV. That was very interesting.
So I'll give you that. That also caught me.
That was really cool. I like the bit where that T-800 attacks or whatever, and then there's that explosion, and then sort of like he's sort of like underexposed and blacked out, but you still see the red eyes.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
legit.
really cool.
Doesn't that happen with Arnie as well in the cop station? No.
No, it doesn't.
No. Sorry. I'm mixing the two up. You're right, though. There is that. I do like that where you see it's like dark, but you see the eyes.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. The LEDs. And one thing I do want to say is I love the use or the way they did the future war world. It is a very different looking world to what we used to, but they also keep it like very mysterious. They don't show a lot about how it works and how people move around.
Yeah, I
for
do.
example.
I definitely love the future war stuff.
It's very minimal.
Yeah, that was one complaint people had of Terminator Salvation was it was in the future war, but most of it had a very different aesthetic, and also it was shot mostly during the day. There was only a few night scenes, which was very different to how the future was supposed to be portrayed.
You see, that's a fair criticism because it's that sense of mystery and ambience that they set up in the first two movies that makes it captivating.
Yeah.
And then Salvation kind of lost the plot a bit. I know Salvation was bad. People didn't like that movie.
I will say, out of all the Terminator sequels after 2, I do like Salvation the most, because Salvation at least tries to do something different.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It does feel different.
It tries to do something different, whereas every other Terminator sequel just tries to repeat. They just repeat Terminator 2, basically.
I'll give you that for sure. I think my favorite is Genesis. I like that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't think about the plot too much, it becomes kind of convoluted. But yeah, I just like that movie the most. I like Arnie.
Yeah.
You know, that whole line of old, not obsolete.
Old, not obsolete. Yes.
We're getting that as a bumper sticker for that car. My dad loves that line so much.
It is a very good line.
It's one of my favorite, actually, from the franchise. Is old, not obsolete.
Oh, yeah.
So Genesis, I don't mind. Dark Fate is a pile of festering camel shite.
Oh, yes.
And Salvation, I'm not that big of a fan of, but it's been a couple of years since I've seen it, so I have to go rewatch it.
Yeah, it's okay.
But I totally agree with you that they tried to do something different. It felt completely different to obviously the first two, and then even The Rise of the Machines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the only Terminator film where it's the only one where they try to do something different, because the other ones they're just repeating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Legit. I suppose there isn't really that much you can do with the franchise, because it's all about preventing a war and trying to outdo each other so the war never happens, or does happen, depending on the side.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can't really start that war properly, because then the whole objective of the original Terminator film is lost, you know?
Yeah.
So there's this kind of minimal that you can still do to make it fresh.
And even though that originally in Terminator 2 they say the future's not set, and they kind of set it up so that everything's kind of done now and everything. The sequels keep trying to do this whole thing of like, oh no, it doesn't matter if John Connor lives or dies. You know, the war happens anyway. Shut up.
So yeah, I think that's kind of a mistake. They must always go back and look at what they said in the earlier movies before making a new one, because they contradict themselves so much. Not just Terminator, but a lot of franchises.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't really have anything else to say.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, not much else to say.
Alright, well, good night.
Good movie, yeah.
Alright, cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. This episode was actually kind of fun towards the end. I enjoyed it. It took a while to get going, but yeah, life is hectic. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, a share, a sub, all that usual good stuff. If you're looking for us, you can find us here on YT or any podcast platform like
Anchor,
Spotify,
Spotify.
all that sort of stuff. And
Thanks
guys.